One man was forced to put his entire career on the line. Another survived a world title match that could have ended everything. A mentor betrayed her own student in front of a sold out crowd in Belfast. And by the end of the night, respect was earned, but nothing was resolved. Belfast didn't just get Monday Night Raw, it got pressure, it got consequences, it had everything. So we will roll it. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tea Drop. Strong Brew, no soft behavior. We're live, or we were live, from Belfast, Northern Ireland, in Monday Night Raw. Pyro as always. Everyone crazy. Fans going beautifully crazy in Europe, as they always do. Why they don't have a WrestleMania in United Kingdom yet is beyond me, but we won't talk about that just yet. Michael Cole and Corey Graves on the call for that night's Raw, and Raw wastes absolutely no time letting you know this night's about stakes. So let's get into it. Gunther opens the show up, and the Belfast crowd immediately reminds him of something he would very much like to forget. He tapped out last week, so they kept chanting it. By the way, this image alone tells me how amazing. It's because of the way they set it up. This setup for the entrance from the gorilla position looks cool with the triangle lights and everything. It's a different look instead of that narrow corridor they always do in other arenas. It just felt different. So it looked nice for once. Anyway, the ring general, Gunther, tells everyone to calm down, which historically has never worked for anyone. Gunther says AJ Styles walked into their match last week obsessed with making him tap out. So obsessed that he forgot who he was standing across from. Gunther runs down his list of accomplishments because of course he does. It's Gunther. And declares that his future leads straight back into the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh man. CM Punk's heart must have jumped. Anyway, he also confirms he's entering this year's Royal Rumble, reminding everyone that he lasted over 71 minutes last year because pain is his brand. Before he can say any more, AJ Styles comes out. AJ makes it clear he is not ready to move on. He wants a rematch, and he wants that rematch at the Royal Rumble. Gunther refuses, saying he's not pulling double duty. AJ calls him scared, and Gunther freezes halfway up the ring or the ramp. AJ admits that last week he showed mercy when he should have ended things. Then he says it flat out. Gunther tapped out. The crowd jumps on it, and Gunther flips the script. If AJ wants the rematch, he has to put his career on the line. Well, that makes sense given that his contract's almost up, and he did say this was his last contract of his career as a professional wrestler. Didn't expect it to happen at the Rumble, but okay, let's keep going. Gunther tells AJ to think about it, whether this is the hill he wants to die on. Unless AJ is scared. Then Gunther leaves, AJ stays. That's how you start hooking an audience on a Monday Night Raw. Perfect start for a Monday Night Raw. We move on to the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line between Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree. And we finally see Natalya in Maxine's corner. Cole talks about the brutal training Natalya put Maxine through. And we're told she's there to help and not interfere. Now, we're not stupid, Michael Cole. It'll be nice you don't say sometimes things that is too obvious that when you say it, you either mean something quite the opposite is about to happen, or you're just telling us, yeah, it's going to happen. So when you say it's not going to interfere, She's there to help and not interfere. We know already something's up. We don't know what exactly, but we know you're giving us a hint. Something's about to come up. Sometimes you don't have to tell us everything. I know you're an announcer, but you don't have to tell us everything. But you know what, Michael Cole, you've been in the thing for years. You know your stuff, but I'm just saying. Anyway, the reassurance obviously aged poorly in this match. The match is competitive, physical, and honest. Impressive for Maxine. That's a couple weeks in a row now. She attacks Becky's leg, lands dives, hits suplexes, and keeps pace with a champion who doesn't slow down for anyone. Becky grows visibly frustrated at Maxine, and Maxine refused to fold. The turning point comes from when Becky hits the exposed turnbuckle. Maxine covers, and Natalya puts Becky's foot on the rope. That one moment changes everything for Maxine. Becky hits the manhandle slam, and she retains the title. But we move on from that to a new story for Maxine, because now it becomes a story about betrayal. Natalya attacks after the match Maxine, beats her down, and locks her in the sharpshooter while telling her she'll never learn. Maxine Dupree just got her mentor betrayal arc. I guess welcome to wrestling for Maxine. She's fully in it now. It was a good match, and I mean, we can only do Maxine versus Becky so many times, so I guess Maxine now is focusing on another competitor, a competitor that's going to help her move up more, which is Natty. Natty is going to help Maxine get better, so having a rivalry with her will work. Adam Pearce checks on AJ Styles backstage after this match, and AJ says he needs to call his wife and walks off, which is either very responsible or extremely dangerous, because who knows what he's about to say to her. Because of what happened between him and Gunther in terms of the segment. But anyway, eventually Paul Heyman shows up, compliments Pearce's weak like a man setting a trap. What is he up to? Who knows? Anyway, we move on to back to the arena when Jey Uso comes out and then states he's entering the Rumble from the crowd because presentation matters. He shouts out to family, he warns the locker room, and fires a clear warning shot to everyone. So now we got Jey Uso in the Royal Rumble. Why not? The New Day complained to Pearce about flying overseas without a match. Pearce books them into a fatal 4-way next week. Stop talking, New Day. They should have just announced to be in the Royal Rumble. Anyway, this absolutely could have been just an email for them, but honestly, I don't even know why they showed up. But anyway, we move on to a 6-man tag match. Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee face Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul, 2 matches in a row. In his new year, 2026 contract. We got Bronson Reed and Austin Theory, with Adam Pearce watching Paul Heyman nearby, like he's a damn parole officer. This match flies. Fast tags, big dives, constant motion. Logan Paul, obviously being him, he's obnoxious in the exact way he's supposed to be. Austin Theory's aggression continues to ramp up. Bronson Reed throws people around like they are just furniture to him. And if you know, and we'll talk about it later, during this match, Belfast decided to be cute. And they started, from what most people are saying in social media, saying Logan Paul is banned from Japan. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, stick around. We're going to talk about it later. But you see him react to it. He reacts to it and then quickly goes back into the match to focus because now he's a full timer and he needs to focus on wrestling. Reed throws around people like I said as like furniture. Brass knuckles come into play somehow, but Pierce being a watchful dog, he interferes with the brass knuckles and intercepts them. So he takes it from Division. But then somehow Ray gets them and hits Austin Theory. And then Ray allows Penta to continue, and Penta hits the Destroyer. And a 1, 2, 3, the baby faces win the match. Heyman fumes, and Pierce continues inserting himself into this chaos. We are about to see a big storyline between these two. Will it be potentially them shifting power between Pierce and Heyman? Who knows? Heyman did give us a hint last week. So something feels like this will absolutely backfire eventually. Also, Braun Breaker being suspended feels temporary at best. Maybe he'll be back at the Royal Rumble. Maybe he'll force himself into the Rumble. Who knows? We will have to see and find out. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky come out to address the audience, the fans, the WWE Universe. Rhea welcomes everyone to Monday Night Rio. Not the wrestler in AEW. Rio, which is short name for Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. RHIYO. Rio. And reminds everyone that Judgment Day doesn't run the division. It's them. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez interrupts, pointing out the obvious flaw between them. Rhea always turns on her partners eventually. That one hurt. Even for me. Before that tension can breed between these two, Miss Raquel Rodriguez attacks Rhea from behind. And then chaos erupts. Liv hits the Oblivion on Io Sky, and the challengers stand tall over their champions. The message is clear. The tag titles are in danger, and the Royal Rumble is going to be a battlefield for them. But before that, they will have their tag team championship match at Saturday Night Main Event. Next up, we get Javon Evans, and he takes on El Grande Americano, flanked by Rayo and Bravo Americano. Evans is still wearing his NXT jersey to the ring, despite officially being on Raw now. He's officially a full-time on Raw. But it is what it is. He wants to represent, let him represent. But this tells us probably one or two things. Either brand loyalty runs deep, or he is absolutely getting his money's worth for that shirt. The match starts fast. Grande takes Evans into the corner and gives him a disrespectful face tap to wake him up. The two exchange crisp mat wrestling, and Evans shows sharp awareness early on, dodging a kick and rolling Grande up for a couple of quick near falls. He keeps the pace high with a drop kick, avoids a corner charge, and the two collide with shoulder blocks on opposite sides of the rope. Evans hits a springboard Rana and another drop kick, looking confident and in control. Grande fires back with an Suiguri, I think that's how you say it, and some heavy shots, sending Evans to the floor. Evan answers with a super kick, hops onto the steps, and avoids interference from Rayo and Bravo before landing a springboard clothesline. Then we go to commercial. And unfortunately, when we come back, the tone of this match completely shifts. And that's because we see Evans on the floor grabbing his wrist. And the referee calls the match. Javon Evans is unable to continue, and El Grande Americano gets the win via referee stoppage. There's no match rating here for many people out there, unfortunately, because the match that obviously didn't finish. The focus immediately shifted to Evans' health, and even the commentary team seem unsure how the injury occurred. Rayo and Bravo wave goodbye in a way that feels less triumphant and more unsettling. We just hope Javon Evans is back soon. We will find out next week, this coming week, what the update is. We're reminded that earlier tonight, Natalia turned on Maxine Dupree before the main event. Because in case you forgot, betrayal's the theme of the evening. Jackie Redmond catches up with Finn Balor before the main event, asking him how he handles the pressure of tonight's main event. Finn Balor says the magnitude of the moment isn't beyond him. He respects CM Punk, but this is his island. Yeah. His people, and tonight there will be a new Irish World Heavyweight Champion. Also worth noting, Jackie looked noticeably happier after Punk's comments earlier. Anyway, read into that however you like. But I'm pretty sure it's just CM Punk being a back locker room champ, making sure everyone's spirits is up. Please don't read anything beyond that. People tend to read beyond things too much, and it's not meant that way. Anyway, we get a quick reminder that Obafemi is coming. When is Obafemi coming? Probably at the Royal Rumble, which feels less like a tease and more like a warning label for the whole crowd. He's either coming back at the Royal Rumble, maybe, or coming to the main roster in Royal Rumble, maybe, and it sounds like he's on Monday Night Raw since most of the promos is on Raw. Maybe he'll show up the night after Royal Rumble. We will see. The Vision eventually approaches Adam Pearce backstage. Pearce wants Braun Breakers back on the show next week to smooth things over. Paul Heyman calmly tells Pearce that he better be on his best behavior, which is never a sentence that ends well. They walk off, and AJ Styles steps in. AJ says he had a very short conversation with his wife. Her advice was simple: kick Gunther's butt. So Adam Pearce makes it official for the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles takes on Gunther, career versus pride. And it's in the middle of Saudi Arabia. Hopefully it's not his last match. It hopefully isn't. And maybe he retires at WrestleMania. Maybe I don't know when his contract ends. But hopefully it ends at WrestleMania or maybe a little bit after that. We'll see. It's fine if Gunther retires him, but I feel it's so quick. Anyway, Colin Gravesend runs down the card for Saturday night's main event as the night continues to escalate. We cut... Oh, my photos didn't show for that match. Well, I will have to edit that. Yep. So unfortunately, we cut to Kairi cowering in the corner when Asuka appears. Kairi apologizes immediately, and Asuka reminds her that she has lost twice in a row from last week, and that tone alone is enough to strike fear. Kairi promises that Asuka will win the Royal Rumble. Not happening, guys. So she'll continue being mad at her. She says she'll do anything to make that happen. Asuka accepts the vow, calmly tells Kairi not to make her yell again, and walks off. Looks like their relationship is becoming extremely unhealthy. We will see. We finally move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match with obviously the title on the line. Punk enters first to a massive support from the crowd. But then Finn Balor comes out to his classic theme. Because sometimes, as WWE loves to do it, nostalgia just hits harder. And people adored it. People went crazy about it. This match is deliberate in terms of physical and pressure heavy. Punk works the arm throughout the match. Finn fires back with precision. Finn's legs becomes a factor in the match. Punk targets it relentlessly. Finn eventually hits the coup de grace, only 2 count. Then Punk eventually hits the GTS, another only 2. Finally, Punk lands a second GTS, and he gets the win. After the match, Punk offers respect, obviously, because we're in good old Northern Ireland, so you better. Finn accepts it, and then leaves with his head held high after the match. This match wasn't about Judgment Day. This was about reminding everyone that Finn Balor still belongs in the main event conversation. And that's true. And hopefully we get it in this year. Because Finn deserves it, man. Finn definitely does. He's been cut short out of these big titles in the past. So we'll see. Raw from Belfast delivered. Gunther forced AJ Styles to bet on his career. Maxine Dupree learned the cost of trust. The tag division catches fire, and you'll see that in Saturday Night Main Event. And CM Punk survived when the pressure peaked in Belfast. The Royal Rumble field keeps growing, the stakes keep climbing, and this just makes our future brood that just stronger to discuss. So, as always, no soft behavior. I'm Arrow. And this was the T-Drop for Monday Night Raw.